it all the time. But anyway,
Whatever.
Let's get into this now. Who's surprised by this one? Lauryn Hill announced that the Fugees North American tour has been canceled, and she got on social media to tell fans. Now, I'm confused on why it's just a North American portion. Like, if I'm not messing with you in North America, why would I go anywhere else with you? That's my concern.
They hate each other, bro.
Yes.
They just come out and say it.
I think what they really said was that the tickets weren't selling in America. Y'all didn't buy them Fuji tickets.
Okay, well,
that's why they canceled.
If they not selling here, what they gonna sell?
They selling in Africa.
Yeah. Oh, your people get
my people.
All right. Shout out to Africa.
Okay, all right. But again, they don't like each other.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Also, y'all, Young Thug is apparently getting tired of court. Like, literally, the rapper is going viral for appearing to be asleep in court this week.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, man. Court is, you imagine what you got to go through in your cell thinking about going to court. Now, you know, that's got to be crazy. Of course, you're tired. He took a little quick nap and they called him.
He's knocked the fuck out, too.
Like, at this point, you know what I'm saying? Don't have me in court this long. Just lock me up and give me a time frame that I can get out. You want me to sit in court and listen to this? If I'm him, I'm asleep too. I'm sure.
You know that chair probably way more comfortable than his
Right.
Oh, man, it's probably. And it's air conditioned in that courtroom.
Right.
It feel good. They like, I'm going to get me one of these, man. But we want to know right now, who's cabinet? Vice President Kamala Harris's camp is saying no one from her team called Kasana and about a live stream, about even look at this. Look at this. He's going crazy about a live stream that may or may not was asked for him to do it. Now, do you believe him?
Yeah, I believe. I don't know if
You
it
think
was
somebody called him?
I don't know if it was somebody from his camp. I don't know if somebody from the camp called him, but you heard when
I don't think he gotta make that up.
When Trump went on her stuff, everybody was saying Kai has to get Kamala. Yeah. Somebody called Kai.
Somebody called him.
Kamala's camp? I don't know, but I think somebody definitely
called
Okay, but you just can't get on the internet saying somebody called you to represent the vice president of the country. You can't do that, Zach.
No, he said the Secret Service was reaching
He said
out.
the Secret
I'm
Service.
sure if it was the Secret Service, then she would confirm that. If they're saying they didn't call this man, I don't think they called him.
Kiki, they
and
called
you saying because Trump went on the streamer's platform, Trump want to come on O-Block. That don't mean that Kamala want to do the same thing.
This is the thing.
I'm just saying.
Kiki, you can't get a woman do something wrong.
She can absolutely do something wrong. It's not about her being a woman, but if she said, if I say I did not call Zach, then that mean I did not call. I don't know who called you on my behalf. That don't mean.
No, see, the thing is, the Secret Service called and they wanted to keep it a secret, and then they got embarrassed, and now they want to act like ain't nobody called.
Okay, there it is.
That's what it is. Period. Because Kai clearly said on his thing that he don't do politics, and he turned them down. So that's why they embarrassed. They doubling back.
His crowd on January 6th at the Capitol riots to a crowd that Dr. Martin Luther King, your fraternity brother, could pull. So he basically said he bring the people out better than Dr. King do.
One thing
Explain.
One thing about Trump, he just gonna tell you anything. Okay? He ain't never seen a Martin Luther King speech in his life. Okay? Martin Luther King did the I Have a Dream speech in 1963. Okay, Trump was like 15, 16 years old. You wasn't there, Trump. Shut up. You don't know how many people
Trump say, I bring the city out, baby.
He sound like a promoter for a club, bro. He's like, I got the best parties in the city, man.
What the roomie saying about this? Check in.
Oh my gosh, man. What are the roomies saying about this, man? What they said, Kiki?
I mean, Zach, let me see.
Come on.
Trying to read from over here. What you tell us?
They keep saying not from O Block, man. Not from O Block.
Yes.
This whole story, man. Trump just is like, you know what? Hey guys,
O Block.
I am going to just say, you know what? I'm gonna say anything.
Yeah, it's gonna work.
It's gonna work. Anytime I say something, man. But some people are saying stuff about a gospel artist, Kiki.
Oh, you know, I love Erica Campbell. She's trending right now because she was at the Stella Awards and she made some debatable comments about Diddy and his redemption. Erica stated, down here, as in on earth, you're gonna reap your consequences of your choices. Amen. Down here, you're gonna pay for some of the things you have done. It just is what it is. But does God forgive and redeem? Yes, he does. Now, will the people though? So I want to ask you guys, do you think Diddy can be forgiven?
I think the people that are going to have problems forgiving Diddy are the people that went down. Well, I mean, when it went down. with whoever allegedly.
Oh, you saying the victims?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think they forget.
Okay.
I don't know, man, but I mean, when you say down here, we all know church folks gonna try to forgive you and stuff. Then real people gonna look at you
don't
like,
ever go live. The fact that they live and
talking
current affairs is.
Nothing.
I never could catch the live when they go live.
I can't forgive you because you ain't do nothing to me, did you?
Right.
But if you did, I don't know if I would forgive you. So that's up to the victims to forgive.
Some Shade Room and keep me up to date with my current
that video of
affairs.
him and Cassie is still running in my head. I can't forget that.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't forget it.
I mean, it's another case of music. It's another case where we basically all grew up in a Diddy situation. We all like, yo, Warshawn John, listen to the records, watch them go and sell alcohol to people. But in the sense of, you just like, you look at it like, dang, Diddy, like you really let us down in a sense. Do you think he can come back?
No, it's gonna take a lot. He gonna have to go.
He's
gonna take 2-3 years.
He's not coming back, bro.
Yes, he gotta go see Jesus.
Everybody can be forgiven, guys. You gotta talk to the Lord, talk to the lady, and change your heart. That's what matters, okay? You change your heart, and things can be forgiven.
And change your name again.
Change your name again. There you go.
There it is.
He had a good run. He can still help people from behind the scenes. He's still a mogul. I'm not saying the out front Diddy is over. The out front guy, like, yo, hey man, I'm Diddy. Nah, it's cool. He can still help people. He can still give jobs out. He can still be an entrepreneur. But the guy in the front of the thing, I think that's a wrap.
He can't dance in videos no more. He can't. He got to change his catchphrase. Take that. Don't sound good no more. It just don't sound good no more. He gotta get a new one.
Why are you like that?
All right,
oh my God.
Here we go. TikTokers had a lot to say about this year's Lollapalooza festival here in Chicago, including the smell and the large crowds. Look how many damn people this is.
Oh my God.
You were one of them.
COVID fucking
I actually
capital.
went out there to go see one of the greatest rappers
That's
of
a
all time.
COVID cesspool right there.
So I had to go see Super, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, this crowd is too much. I don't love any artist that much to go sit in that crowd. I don't give a damn what song you to put out. I don't want to see nobody if I got to stand around that many people. Lollapalooza, it's a cute little vibe, but standing in a crowd like that, it's just not.
That's crazy.
No,
you know what? Festivals are needed. I love festivals, and yeah, that is. Looking at it looks crazy, but when you're in it, it's not as crazy. One thing I do say, we talk about it. Yes, it is.
You had VIP the whole weekend, sir.
He had a cart taking him from tent to tent. Talking about it ain't that bad.
Right. Talking about when was you out there? I don't see you on the screen in the little circle. I
hate y'all, man. I was trying to be a man of a people,
baby,
man.
you know how big people. That is not for us. Okay, I was fighting for my life down to the Lollapalooza. Okay.
Okay, they need air conditioning.
Yeah, they need air conditioning. They need a deodorant station. Okay, they need a lot of things.
Oh, I can tell you, Lollapalooza for real. On some real stuff, I saw a lot of sponsors you had out there. You need a degree like spot where somebody can just refresh. Yeah, I promise you, spray on or something, man. It was crazy.
It was crazy, and it's definitely nowhere for a little person.
Oh yeah, exactly.
These big, tall, giant. I'm trying to see Future. These 2 7-foot dudes gonna come stand in front of me. I say, hey, big man, move your ass out the way, man. Come on, man. Please.
Hey, man. Well, look, let's jump into something, man. There's a lot of fun to talk about. It's some TSR politics. Let's get it. Who's running the politics bumper, man? Let's get that going, boys, please. Shout out to you guys.
Politics.
I was like, politics. All right. Shout out to the Rubies. What's good? Hey, let's get to it, man. But join us right now is our Shaderoom political correspondent, A.B. Burns-Tucker, and she is here to discuss how this election could shape the Supreme Court for the next 20 years. What's up, baby?
Hey, what it do? What it do?
Hey. Can we just take one time to just cheer for AB?
Come on, AB.
You know what I'm saying? Fresh off the bar. Congratulations.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
All right. You just took the bar exam. How you feeling? And just tell everybody why you decided to become a lawyer.
Child, first of all, when I tell you that the bar exam turned me every which way except for loose, Okay, it worked me, and I just kept fighting back. So we're gonna see. We get results in November, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that bar exam, it did a number on me. In terms of why I got into law, right? So actually, my brother was wrongfully convicted when he was 15 years old and sentenced to 50 years to life in prison. And I just didn't appreciate how the court was able to pull the wool over my eyes like that. And I wanted to know the insides on, well, how does this work? Like, how are y'all able to do that? And so that's what motivated me to actually go to law school and kind of learn the law. Because what I realized is that y'all keep talking around us and using all these laws against us, and we don't even know what y'all talking about. So let me go get inside, get a seat at the table, and learn as much as I can learn. And so that's what actually brought me through that journey.
I love that.
Yep, and I'm happy you got on this, sis. You came right along when we needed you. Tell us about what's coming up in your TSR news segment.
Yeah, so we are talking about the Supreme Court in this segment. And the reason why this is important is because depending on who the next president is going to be, they could likely get 1 or up to 3 new Supreme Court justice picks, right? And that could actually change the scope of our lives and our futures for a cool minute, right? It could affect our kids and our kids' kids, depending on how the decisions are made. And so I think people need to keep that in the back of their minds as they are going into this election and understanding that the court is absolutely on the ballot.
All right, AB, now excuse my Gary Public School education. Why is the Supreme Court and its justices important to this election?
Absolutely, because when you think about it, the justices are kind of the final say when it comes to laws, right? So you have Congress that drafts laws and write laws, but when you go to court, it is the court who interprets those laws. And so what the Supreme Court does is they interpret what they thought the legislators were talking about when they came up with these particular laws, right? So when you look at things such as Roe v. Wade, right, and how Dobbs was overturned, well, that happened because this Supreme Court interpreted it different. Like, y'all don't have the right to an abortion, actually. That ain't none of our business as the court. Matter of fact, we're going to give that back to the states, or so they say. But we see how that has affected our lives. When you think of issues such as the Fifth Amendment, right, and Miranda rights, where this court has said, well, if the police don't read you on Miranda, they ain't all the way wrong. And, you can't really just be suing them because of that or whatever, right? So depending on who you have on the bench in the court can determine how they interpret the laws and how they should be implemented in our everyday lives. And so again, this type of decisions can have lasting effects. When you look at the fact that we had Roe v. Wade for over 50 years. Now we got Dobbs, and we're trying to figure it out as states, and every state is something different. So you see white women running from the South like runaway slaves trying to get health care at this point because they have taken that right away. However, this court doesn't feel like they're taking rights away. What they feel like is they are putting it back in the hands of the people. And one reason why that could be dangerous is because if you take it back to the founding, even James Madison was like, well, people is kind of messed up. They could be a little scandalous, you know what I mean? They could be a little selfish. And you don't really know how your neighbor feeling today. So if we don't make the right decisions as people and we don't have any type of oversight on that, that could end us up in some dangerous territory. Right? Yeah. And so, again, that goes back to why the Supreme Court is so important, because you have Justice Thomas, who is 76 years old. He done been on the bench since Bush, like almost 30 years, right? Still making decisions for us. Well, we don't necessarily always agree, right? The public is not necessarily agreeing with where he's coming from. This boy, he got a white wife talking about, well, we should probably look at the rules of the law when it comes to interracial marriage. You are interracially married, sir, right? It's important to understand, like, the court has a lot of power, and we allow them that power. And so what we really want is a court who not really always flip-flopping, but is more aligned with how the American people think.
Yeah. Hey, AB, I want to put the roomies on real quick. As you know, presidential candidate Kamala Harris has announced her vice president running mate. His name is Tim Walz. Black people call him Tim Walz.
Where's Claudia Jordan at?
He's the governor of Minnesota.
I don't see Claudia.
Now, AB, what do you think, man? Did Harris make the right VP choice with Walz to appeal to folks who aren't really into politics?
You know what? I think Harris just made a great choice, right? I think if you see the energy that came out after this announcement, the people are excited for Walls, right? And I've been calling them Walls too. We're going to get it together, coach. We're going to figure it out. But I think he's a good choice because in this particular ticket, I think everybody can see a little bit of something of themselves in there, right? You see an all-American dad, and those, you know, America, we've been struggling. The baby daddies of America, they kind of left us hanging a little bit. So this is a nice little change, right? But he's this all-American person, right? He seems just very down to earth, and he seems like someone who can meet people where they are. And I think the American people have been frustrated with our previous administrations because they don't really move how we move. You know what I'm saying? And now you see Auntie Kamala up there. She giving you the mom look and stop playing with me, you heard me talking, let me finish what I gotta say, right? People can relate to that. When you look at Walls, right, the American people can relate to that. Him going to the fair, right? Him feeding children, right? In his state, like allowing children to have free lunch. The average American is struggling with particular issues like that, right? People mad at him because he put tampons in the bathroom. But people don't understand, like, tampons is expensive and everybody ain't got it like that. So I think the fact that he can get down to the ground level and like really appeal to the average American citizen makes him a very strong candidate. And we didn't really know him that much before, right? We couldn't really get in his business and judge him too much before. But what we finding out about him, for the most part, we pretty much love.
He just kind of seemed like just that good white man that you be your neighbor.
Yeah, one of your favorite teachers.
Yeah, like your favorite teacher that help out with the when the basketball team need fundraising and they need somebody to
No, when the basketball players need a ride home.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Well, y'all know he was a football coach, a high school football coach out in his town, and he, you know, I don't know how to use jumper cables, but if I ever needed something, I'm sure I can knock on his door.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Crazy work. Shout out to the roomies commenting. Make sure you keep commenting. And I want to thank you a whole bunch, AB, man. And make sure you check out AB's statement about the Supreme Court on the Shaderoom's YouTube channel.
Yeah, man.
That is. Yeah, man. That girl a lawyer. Hey, man, it's been a great show, and this is going to keep it going, man. How about it? Joining us to further this conversation on Vice President Picks is former Republican congressional candidate Joe Collins. What up, Joe? What's happening?
What's up? How y'all doing?
We good, brother.
Joe.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question, man.
Joe, I don't know. Joe, you clean, brother. I don't know if you Joe Collins or Joe the singer.
I'm trying to get my Jane St. Patrick on right now. You know?
That boy clean, man.
Right.
All right, Joe, let me ask you a question, man. What's your thoughts on J.D. Vance approaching Kamala's plane on that tarmac? That pull-up was kind of weird, brother.
This is what I think about it. You know, it's a lot of times you'll see the president or vice president not taking any questions from the media. They don't do any public media responses. So he did what he had to do in order to, one, draw attention, and two, try to get some type of public response. One thing that you got to understand when you're in politics and when you're running for office is controlling the media is extremely important. And if you're not getting immediate attention, if you're a Republican from left-wing media sources, then you got to put yourself in that position and vice versa. So he did what he had to do. I probably would have did the same thing.
Wow. Oh, okay. All right, Joe, you would have pulled up. I see you, brother.
All right, cool.
All right, Joe, I got to ask you, man, do you think the Democrats are underestimating blacks and Latinos for Trump?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, especially when it comes to black men. I mean, you can go around to any city, any inner city, and talk to black men, and they'll tell you that they rock with Donald Trump. Not just because he got some felony convictions or whatever the case may be with that situation, but for one, they'll tell you he keeps it real and he says it like it is. And two, you have a lot of black men and Latinos who are aspiring businessmen, and they want those tax breaks. They want to be able to replicate what other successful people do.
Not only that, but he kept money flowing in the hood during the pandemic. That's $600 extra a week that came from Trump. The SBA money that came from Trump. I benefited from that. I got a $5,000. They gave me 5 stacks and then turned around and gave me 15 stacks and a grant
Now, Joe,
for my business.
Do you feel that the Republican
you know
attack on Walz for having stolen valor is ridiculous for a man who served in the National Guard for 24 years?
Let's keep it all the way funky. He wasn't all bad. Shit, you ain't get shit with fucking Obama the whole 8 years.
as a U.S. Navy veteran myself, I actually served boots on the ground in 2008 doing Operation Iraqi Freedom, and I couldn't drop out and retire. So I think that is one of the biggest reasons why he's getting a lot of slack for that. Even with him being a VP, I think that the Democrats could have did a real better job. One thing that they didn't take into consideration is that when you're running for office, especially President of the United States, delegates comes into place, and you know, delegates. Now, a better choice would have been the governor of Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania is a larger state. You get more delegates than a guy like Walsh. And you got to remember, during the 2020 year after George Floyd had died, they literally burned down the Minneapolis, Minnesota. And he was the governor, and he did absolutely nothing. He stood by. And I know firsthand, because me and my team was out there, and we were pushing for police reform and justice, because, you know, although, you know, nobody's perfect, but that man should have had his day in court. But the fact that he stood on his fingers and let that happen is probably going to come into play whenever the election cycle gets a little closer. They got a primary coming up, or the nomination process coming up, and I think all of that stuff will come into play. But God bless him.
All right.
Okay.
Joe, do you have any plans to run for office again?
Not in the near future. I actually took a step back because I am a father, and I do run a government contracting company, and I sit on the board of some other companies. We did a really good job when I ran for Congress against Maxine Waters. We raised $10.6 million. We gave a lot back to the community. 300,000 pounds of food back to the community. We did a lot of job fairs. I hired a lot of people in the community. We advocated for a lot of things that were important to the people in the community. We actually did our best to show the Republican Party how to align themselves with the Black community and how to approach the Black community without giving that whole pull yourself up by your bootstrap garbage that they like to talk and actually get down on a level where people can understand. So I think that we did a really, really good job. I still do a lot of fundraising for the candidates that I like, the ones that I